Hi, and welcome to Love You, Miss You, Bye. I'm Christy Chanelle, and I'm recording this on my phone because there's something wacky going on with my internet. My plan was to go dark. I have just been in funk ever since the election happened, and I'm trying to shake myself out of it. Due to that, I didn't know if I was going to be able to come on and speak to you directly about it. Luckily, Phoebe, my co-host, and I on Simply Vibin' do a show together. And tonight, and we typically go live on that show. We've decided to cover things that are happening in the political world. This is something that I never really got much involved in. I never really got fully educated on. And it's time that I do that. And as I educate myself more, I want to share it with you. I live in a red state of Texas. And, well, to be quite honest with you, I'm freaking out. That may isolate some people that listen to my show. I'm a little upset. And so Phoebe and I went live on Saturday and talked about it. Phoebe and I have a lot of people that are affected because of this choice that America has made. And my goal is to keep my eyes wide open and not shut them and go to sleep again. I want to become more active and make sure that we're growing as a community, standing up for what we believe in, and being a part of change. That is my promise to you, myself, and my family. Enjoy our Simply Vibin' episode this week, and I will be back next Monday for my normal content. I'm with you. If you're hurting right now, scared, devastated, sending you hugs through the miles and thinking about you. Okay, on with the show. I'm your host, Christy Chanelle, and this is the Love You, Miss You, Bye podcast.
Are we live?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, how are you, Christy? What
good.
Are we doing here?
How are you?
I'm good.
Notice any jewelry, any
So
aesthetic?
You've been reading horror stories today. You've been reading true horror stories. Okay.
True horror stories, yes. I haven't read everything. I mean, I just got it Friday, really.
And that's a big... How many pages is that? Do you know?
900. Hold on.
That is crazy.
I know. And I didn't bring like the second half in here, just the first half, because I haven't really looked through the whole book. But anyway, what we're talking about is Project 2025. And I think it's really, really relevant to talk about Project 2025 because we just had a really fucked up election. Did you watch the election, or did you not even turn it on?
No, I watched it.
You did
watch
watch it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I didn't stay up late. I didn't dedicate my next day to it. I kind of stayed up until my normal time, and then I went to bed and said, like, well, I thought it might took a little longer. I was surprised that when I woke up, we already knew. But at the same time, when I went to bed, I was like, ooh, Trump's coming in a little strong. Like, oh, it's okay.
Well, they tell you that there's going to be a red mirage in the beginning. And everybody's like, don't worry. It's a red mirage. It's a red mirage. And then the blue wave will come in. And typically, that's what happens, is because of the first few states closing polls at that time, that, you know, that's typically what happens. So I kept saying to Hannah, my daughter, I'm like, oh, no. It's just the mirage. It's just the red mirage. And she was like, how long does it last? I'm like,
right.
I'm like, yeah. So then we started to have these sinking feelings, and even Nevada it looked scary. Like New Jersey for a minute freaked me out. I'm like, you know, that's where I'm from.
Your home state?
Yeah, my home state. I grew up there. And so I was a little freaked out by that.
I knew what my home state was going to do, and they did.
Fuck yeah. We're in Texas for anybody that's passing through.
Well, and then I'm from Kansas, which
Red. It turned red. I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know. I did stay up late because I'm an optimist, and I was like, oh, it's gonna change, So then I went to sleep about midnight, and it was already pretty much called at that point.
Was
Uh,
it?
yeah, I mean, they didn't officially call it, but it was kind of obvious what was happening. And then I woke up at like 4 a.m, and I was just wide awake and I couldn't sleep. I felt really heavy. I felt like a sadness.
Yeah.
So that if you went to sleep, then the next morning, did it affect you at all? Did you feel any type of way?
Honestly, no. I mean, I was of course not happy. It's like fucking shit. That's kind of how I felt, is just like, but I honestly thought this was going to happen. I
Hmm.
could see it coming a mile away.
You
And
did?
oh
Or
yeah, I should have put
before the
money.
election?
Oh yeah,
What?
I knew who was gonna win. Yeah.
Okay, tell me. Okay, tell me how, because all the media was saying it's going to be a blue wave.
Did you really believe that?
I'm gullible.
I
Yeah,
will say,
probably.
because I mean, the last few weeks before we really got to the election, I was seeing so many different people suddenly endorsing Trump that I'm like, whoa, what is happening? Like, this is not like the last election where these are not, you know, um, far right, it's not super conservative people. Like, these are normal kind of middle of the road people that are starting to endorse him. And it just, to me, I saw, yeah, because I mean, and also the Democrats didn't have a strong ticket. They have been faltering for years. And at this point, it's like people kind of vote against something. They're not really voting for anything. And so I could just,
Hmm.
yeah,
You felt it.
I wasn't shocked at all. I wasn't shocked. And I think, remember, I told you, like, the way I see it is like, we got to hit rock bottom as a country, and we've not got there yet. And until we hit rock bottom, we're not going to change stuff like we need to. We needed a complete, like, radical overhaul of the way things are done. And we got to be at rock bottom before that's going to really happen. And it's like, hey, if that's what Trump's job's going to be, if that's what, So I didn't feel this sense, like the same sense as you did, because I felt more like, okay, let everyone mourn this. But then I think it's going to motivate a lot of people to get up and get off the couch and do something. So I see that as the kind of light at the end of the tunnel with it.
Yeah, I was more blindsided by it, and thinking about well, people wouldn't vote for a felon, somebody that's lying, somebody that's derogatory and is talking about people like that, saying, he's going to take down all his opponent. It's just it didn't seem like America was that filled with hate, and that is my blind optimism, I think, and I recognize that.
Well, maybe a little naive too, and a little,
Yeah.
you're in your bubble, and that's what
Hmm.
you thought. I know a lot of people that think along those lines, or think like, no, this isn't a racist country. It's 100% a racist country still.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And honestly though, like I said, it was heavy the next day. I was crying, I was depressed. That probably lasted a couple of days. And then I got angry,
mm-hmm.
and then I started to say, okay, there's enough of that. Where do I fuel my anger?
Yeah.
Where do I put it? Which is how I'm built, and we'll get into more of the things that we're seeing out there, but that's what they like. They like weakness. It makes them happy. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to give them that anymore. Like, I'm done with
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
I'm now I'm angry, and what can we do about it?
Mm-hmm.
Type
Yeah.
scenario.
Yeah.
Um, but okay, so I know we have different backgrounds, and we were raised differently, and all of that. Obviously my roots are Texas. I was born in Dallas. I was raised a city girl in New Jersey, and in a blue state, and with a lot of equality. What's that? Of course, everybody's equal. Duh. That was my training. My upbringing was everybody deserves an equal opportunity. And so learning that's not it, that's not happening, was surprising to me.
Okay.
Yeah. It really was. And so obviously being with my ex has shown me a lot of some scenarios that I wasn't familiar with. And I've learned a little bit about some things through him, but still not enough, not even close to enough. And I'm acknowledging that, and I'm open-minded, and I want to learn, and I want to be taught what I don't know so that I can make a difference in some way.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, and like the people that probably voted for Trump, they weren't all racist. There were, of course, there's a big segment that's why they did, outright racist, undercover racist, like, or the whole like, we got to protect the white man. Oh my God, they're coming to take all our rights. And, the ones who basically like once, what is the saying? I don't even want to, I can't think of it right now, but
no pressure. We've got time.
Right. Basically, now that we're treating white men like everyone else, you take away, make it equal for them, then they think they're being, what is, the saying anyway. It's bothering me because I can't think of it. It's like a saying. And so they think like, oh, that's just free speech and that's just comedy and that's just, stuff like that, where I don't think they make it a priority to cast their vote. It's like they're looking at the other issues he's talking about instead of, that he's a bigot and a sexist. They're just like, oh, but I don't even know what they saw because he's not even a good businessman. I don't know. I don't know.
No, I mean, I know because he's been bankrupt six times. He went through bankruptcy, and he says only 4 because he's also a liar. Definitely. I can definitely see that. So a lot of what I'm hearing is this is really kind of just shown a mirror on what America truly is, and instead of the illusion of what they say they are. And that is a big eye-opener for me. I'm on TikTok a lot, so I see what other countries are doing. I see what other countries are saying, and they're all shocked.
I heard people talking about, oh, I'm in Canada. You can come here with us, and I'm like, they actually have pretty strict rules. Like, don't extend that invite because a lot of people is going to get turned away.
I think also on, besides obvious racism and the LGBTQ plus community and women in general are all at risk in what's potentially to come. I did talk to a friend of mine. Companies are looking at their handbooks. A lot of companies will say, don't trust HR because HR is there to protect the company, not you. Well, the laws are there to protect you. Hold
froze? On. I'm froze. Are you froze? What's happening?
Hold on. Shit. Can you hear me? I'm back.
Now.
Okay.
Oh, was that me or you? I couldn't tell.
I think it was me. It was me. The internet, my internet has been going in and out. It's been very, very spotty. No. I know. Yeah. So if that happens, it's probably on my side. But we're back.
Okay.
So I was saying that I talked to a friend of mine, and most of the time, everybody says, don't trust HR. It's there to protect the company. But you have laws that protect you. So now HR that's supposed to be inclusive and the things that they regulate are now about to change completely, where you can't do like a harassment charge and you can't do these other things that protect you. Project 2025 is saying some of these things should be removed. And the only type of claim in this is religious claims. This is something that they have to do. They have to be ahead of it to find out what they're saying, because their job is to protect people. So what kind of protections can you offer if the federal government isn't offering it?
Okay,
yes,
I see what you mean.
A proactive approach to figuring out what's next. Super scary on that level. Can you imagine? Like, sexual harassment is now not a big deal. I mean, it makes sense with the administration that we're going to have, but
I mean, yeah, grab them by the pussy.
Exactly. It's scary. It's scary.
It is. It's disgusting. And what I remember, I was like, what is the saying? When you are accustomed to privilege, equality feels like oppression. That's what it is. Like, that's what I was getting at.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of people that have been privileged for a long time, and now things are getting a little more equal, and it's making them very uncomfortable. And so they're going to definitely, that's what I think a lot of the people that voted for Trump, that's what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the things that did rise the day after the election was the stock market. So 401k went, and that's great, but a lot of the middle class don't necessarily have a 401k.
Right.
And so guess whose pockets just got a little fatter the day after that? The Elon Musks of the world and the
rich people
Amazons.
getting richer. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And everybody's like thinking that it's a win. Like, hey,
No. Frozen again. What the heck? I'm here by myself.
hi. Well, this is great.
Are we live? What are we live on? Because I was trying to find us on YouTube and I can't.
On Love You, Miss You Bye YouTube.
Oh, I was looking at the wrong freaking thing. Okay.
Whenever it does that, freezes, which it may happen again, it's still, you're still in there. Even if I'm not, you're still there. So you feel free to just talk. Educate some people.
I can do that.
But see, it will record crystal clear. So when I upload it to Simply Vibin', it'll be fine. So you were in the middle of saying, or was I talking or were you talking? Now I'm all screwed up. So let's talk about some of the assholes. You want to?
If you want to, yes, I do.
All right.
Who are we going to talk about first or second or third? Who's going? We're talking about just some of the people we've seen and some of the shit we've seen since the election.
I've posted a lot on the Simply Vibin' story. So if anybody out there wants to.
She's frozen again. But I'm going to start us off with the text that went out to lots of people across the U.S. About, let's see here. Greetings. You've been selected to pick cotton at the nearest plantation. Be ready at 12 a.m. November 13th sharp with your belongings. Our executive slaves will come get you on a bus. Be prepared to be searched down once you've entered the plantation. You are in plantation group B.
I saw that.
And this, when a mass text that went out to so many people across the U.S. And I'm curious how we don't know who it's from. I don't understand that. I'm like, with how advanced technology is, how do we not already know who the hell sent that out? Because it's like, how did they get all those numbers? Like, I don't know how it even. It's kind of high tech, I feel like.
There was a phone app that came out and said, we noticed what happened, we saw it, and we've removed them. So there is a phone app, and I don't remember right now off the top of my head, but they did identify at least some of the burner phones or numbers and remove them from the site. So, but I don't know how they got it. I don't know where they got it. And I don't know if this was a planned thing that has anything to do with MAGA. Like, I don't know. Do you have thoughts? Or
I have no idea. I just think it's disgusting, and it's like sad, that like this is where we're gonna head, or not. I don't think the majority, but I think it's bullshit that people even feel empowered to do that right now. No.
Well, honestly, I think that it's by electing him, we are showing everybody that it's okay to hate people. And I know that that's a strong statement, but it's very, very true because all the stuff they're spewing is hate. So why not? Like, oh, fuck yeah. Now we've elected somebody that can say whatever they want. So this gives us a right to, and that's why it's
say
scary.
Whatever we want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's why it's scary. The good thing is there's a lot of people out there that are not going to allow that. So keep saying it. Keep doing it.
Yeah. And for the most part, they're going to say the shit behind a keyboard, where they can be anonymous and not get punched in the face. Because that's what would happen if they were really out there doing it on the streets. So it's some good stuff we're already seeing, like the campus, the protests going on, or no. What was it where you had posted it, I think, where the people were out there with signs about like, women are my property, or what all was it, like homosex? But then it seemed like the students kind of rallied around him and ran him out of there, right?
Texas University, yes. There were men that were standing on campus with signs, and one sign said, or they said, women, cars, land,
yeah.
and slaves
Slaves.
all our property now.
Yeah.
And I was shocked. And then there was another sign that says women are property.
Yeah.
And then the homosexual signs, and the students came out in force
I'm glad
with
too.
their own signs and,
Yeah.
walked
Ran 'em
them
out.
right off of campus. So
Yeah. They need to be glad they didn't get fucked up. Like, they do that in front of the wrong people,
it's going to get like that. Like, I hope not. Like, I hope not. But
I hope not.
you screw with the wrong person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, for example, Nick Fuentes, who came out and said, your body, my choice, like a big fucking asshole, like, excuse my language, but he was bad.
Control your bodies. Hey, bitch, we control your bodies. Guess what? Guys win again, okay? Men win again. And yes, we control your bodies. Hi, I'm your Republican congressman. Hi, I'm your Republican congressman. It's your body, my choice. And men, women again. Men win again. There will never, ever be a female president. Never. There will never be a female president, ever. It's over. Glass ceiling. Dude, it's a ceiling made of fucking bricks. You will never break it. Your stupid face keeps hitting the brick ceiling. We will keep you down forever. You will never control your own bodies. You will never be the president of the global empire. Never gonna happen, sweetie.
He had to go to Google blur out his house. It's bad. Yeah. So that's what happens.
But yeah, because why do you think you can get away with stuff like that? Like,
the guy saying men control women's body, the glass ceiling's made of brick, Nick Fuentes, well, he's not some outlier with the Republican Party. He's not even just someone emboldened by the Republican Party. He is tied to the Republican Party. And I'll show you those ties particular to Texas. If you look up Texas Tribune, Nick Fuentes, Tarrant County, you can come up with this article and others showing that Nick Fuentes, this time about a year ago, 2023, he met with this leader of the Defend Texas Liberty PAC. So this political action committee, which means it's like basically a way to get a bunch of money raised to support Republicans, sometimes a bit more directly, sometimes just as a way to be like a strategic consulting arm on behalf of them, advertise for them, that kind of thing. So this PAC met with Nick Fuentes for 7 hours in Tarrant County, Texas. 7 hours. And that PAC is hugely funded by Tim Dunn and Ferris Wilkes. Now, if you know Texas politics, you've heard these names. And if not,
you can't.
No.
Yeah.
And then after he did the video, he posted again the same thing on Twitter, and 33,000 likes were on it. So he's not alone in his thoughts, and everybody's posting underneath. Amazon actually has a shirt on sale that says, "Your body, my choice," with Trump's face on it.
Who? Walmart?
Amazon.
Oh, Amazon. Of course. Fucking Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's gross.
It is gross.
So it's time to protest Amazon. No? Yeah. I'm not I'm not even joking when I say that. Because at first I'm like, I'm joking. No, I'm not. No, the fuck I'm not.
I know you're not, for sure. You've been saying this for a long ass time.
Yeah. No, I'm not. And that's what I'm saying. Now's the time to get activated. Mm-hmm. That's how I see it. It's time to activate. It's not time to be sad and wallow in it. It's time to fight already. It's time, because they're going to start already. It's like they're going to start trying to see how far they can push us already. They're already, just like a child, they're going to push to see where your boundary is. How far can they push you? And we need to kind of come out and say, you can't push us. It's yeah, Trump won, but guess what? Half the country voted against him. It's still
I know.
Half the country that doesn't like his ass and is not going to stand for this shit. Mm-hmm. So
I want to play you something.
I want my people to survive. Is that so strange? We don't control China. We don't control any place where whites are not a majority. And if we become a minority, we will not control our own destiny anymore.
I grew up in this country as a minority, as the children of immigrants. Mm-hmm. I was their first child born in America. And while I didn't have much possession or didn't much control, I really enjoyed myself. You say that you wouldn't want me in this country?
At some point, When my ancestors built this nation, they did not build it with the intention of giving it away to Mexicans or Chinese or Haitians or to anyone else.
Do you consider, you keep saying your ancestors built this country, you
Right.
consider that a fact?
Who else built it?
Black people, Native Americans, Chinese people who came and built the railroads,
Do you think none of that could have been
Italian
achieved?
people.
But they're Europeans, aren't they?
Yeah, it's the economy, stupid.
That's one reason that this white man voted, because he wants to make sure that the white race doesn't die out.
Mm-hmm. Which is nowhere near going to happen. Like, whatever, but fuck your white fragility. That's exactly what that is.
Another reason that a Trump voter voted for Trump is cheese.
So I just wanted to come on here and say that if you're wondering why people voted for Trump, it's because of things like this. My daughter likes to take cheese and pepperoni and crackers for her lunch. I counted how many pieces of cheese were left in this before I ate any to make sure that I had enough for her to take every day for lunch this week. I counted the pieces of cheese because I didn't want to have to go buy more. That's why I voted for Trump.
I don't understand. That didn't even make sense.
She has cheese, a block of cheese,
Okay.
and she sliced it into many, many different slices. And she's counting how many to give her daughter at lunch. And because she has to count her cheese, and she can't use it all at once, so she basically doesn't want to have to go get more because it costs too much money. She's counting her cheese, and that's why she voted for Trump. Yeah.
Because Trump is going to fix that?
Because
Trump's going to give her more cheese?
I guess they think that Trump controls the store prices. What they don't realize is the store prices are owned by the elite.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just lining their pockets. They're going to raise prices. They have control. It's not that hard of a concept.
No, sorry, but the millionaire, billionaire, whatever Trump is not worried about your cheese, honey.
No, he's not. The gas prices, there is a good opportunity for that to lower. Everything else is going to go up because of tariffs. There was a company in Philadelphia that met with their employees and said, I'm sorry, there's not going to be Christmas bonuses this year because we have to buy all of our materials now so that we don't have to pay these tariffs later. And so we need to use this money for materials. So this is going to happen across the board with people.
Do you know who Perez Hilton is?
Sure do.
A blogger.
Uh-huh.
Did you hear what he was talking about, his experience and his truth, his truth?
No, tell me.
Because he's from Cuba. His parents are from Cuba. He grew up in Miami, and it's got a huge community of Cubans. It's like the very prevalent population there. And he said that his own family, like he knows lots and lots of Cubans who immigrated here. They want to stop immigration too. They don't want any illegals coming, and they don't even want legal coming. I mean, it's like a lot of people, they want to use the bridge and then they want to burn it as soon as they crossed, as soon as they, took advantage of, to be able to come in this country and get here legally. They want to take it away so nobody else can. So that I guess their scarcity mentality. That's, that's all I can think it is.
So I have a question for you. One of the things that I've been struggling with is looking around the room in grocery store, gas station, and wondering to myself, did you vote for Trump? Did you? It's something that enters my mind now. And honestly, I've never really cared before.
So did the last election, you didn't feel like this? The last time when he ran against Hillary?
Oh, I was upset. Yeah. I didn't vote for him. I can tell you that right now.
It came out, the whole grab him by the pussy thing. He's always been hateful. Yeah. I mean, he's always not rented to black people. I mean, he's always been a hateful person. So yeah, it was all, that stuff came out then too. I mean, I don't remember his campaign that well now because it was so long ago, but there was definitely the same type of things that happened this time around. Yeah, for sure.
So you felt like that after that election as well?
Yes. Yes, I was unfriending people. I'm sorry, I do. I don't care. Like, I know that everyone right now, the thing is to say, like, oh, I can be your friend even though you vote. Like, no, I can't. I don't have to be your friend because you're voting against, my rights, my son's rights. You're voting against everything I stand for.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I had to do that the last time. It's like it just gets sad. And I'm not now going to just like, unfriend everybody because I'd have to unfriend half the people I know, apparently. No, actually, I wouldn't say that because most of the people I know wouldn't have voted for him. I'm just thinking coworkers, really.
Yeah.
In my actual community of people, none of my people vote for him.
There's a lot of people that surround me that voted for him. And
Yeah.
Facebook is a cesspool of it. And it's really, really, I'm trying not, because a part of me wants to see it so that I can identify it and use it and talk about it. It's connected. I'm in social media. I'm connected. Just this podcast and all that it encompasses. Yeah, you have to put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
The other part is like I don't want to be a part of X and Elon Musk. Like I don't want to support that man at all. He's freaking. Yeah,
I used to like him too. I can't believe I used to
I
like
did
him.
too.
Now I feel like embarrassed that I used to like him. This was a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, because he's
kind of gone wackadoodle lately.
He's still a genius, and that's even scarier that he's a genius because he could do whatever he wants.
Yeah. Well, and he will now because I definitely saw that. I saw an article about that. Like he can't run himself because he's not born here. He was an immigrant. But,
yes.
He basically bought his way to, the presidency. So he could, in essence, buy the right to still kind of be in Trump's ear, I guess, and run things.
If he loses, man, what? You're fucked, dude.
I'm fucked. If he loses, I'm fucked.
It does seem that way. You can't just be like, yo,
Yeah, I'm like, how long do you think my prison sentence is going to be? Do you think? Will I see my children? I don't know.
Well,
Elon Musk.
Joe Rogan today on his podcast, it was today or yesterday.
I'm so disappointed in Joe.
I am too. Oh my God. I
That's
liked
probably
him
my
too.
biggest disappointment of this.
Yeah. What are we missing? What are they seeing that we're missing? Like that's the part. I'm like, make it make sense.
Beginning of the night, no one knew what was going to happen. So you're watching the first results roll in, and there's like this weird thing. And then Trump gets way ahead, but you're like, you don't want to like get too hopeful. Like, how far ahead is he? He's ahead by 100 points. That seems like a lot.
Yeah, and you're like, what is it? And some channels are like, and then every channel's kind of different.
Yeah, they had different numbers. I was getting a different number off my Apple News update than I was getting off of CNN, and then I was texting people. Like Tulsi and J.D. Vance, I was getting a different Apparently, Elon created an app, and he knew who won 4 hours before the results. So as the results were coming in, 4 hours before they called it, Dana White told me Elon was like, I'm leaving, it's over, Donald won. He just fucking somehow or another.
I'm going to go back into my pod and evaporate.
I feel like I'm more of an independent than anything. One of the things I did was I wasn't a Biden fan. And so I went out and tried to find somebody else that I could kind of support. And that was RFK Jr. because I can get behind his big pharma crusade. I'm right after equality comes big pharma for me.
Okay.
Those are my biggest things. Yeah. So I followed him. I could get behind some of the things he was saying. And I was grappling with the fact that voting independent would surely get Trump in. That was what I was going back and forth in my head. Now, I also was grappling with the fact that if you don't vote independent and everybody thinks like that, you're never going to get them in. So I was having that debate in my head. But I didn't even have time to decide because he endorsed Trump. And then I was completely out. He did remain on some of the ballots, but I was completely out. And now he's going to be part of Trump's administration. He actually was with him during the election while it was happening. And he's going to be involved with women's health. just makes sense, right? Women's health.
Yeah.
Why not? Maybe the light is that they will go after big pharma. Problem is they're also greedy and money hungry, and I just don't see it happening.
I would say the problem is they're controlled by money still. So why are we to think that something different's going to happen?
Yeah. Democrats had some issues, and I voted Democrat because I thought it was the only way to not get Trump in office. And that did not work. I don't know how many the independent people running got. I didn't see that.
I believe it wasn't, because I know some people say like, oh, if you didn't have that, then Kamala could have won, but it wasn't so many that it would have made a difference if they didn't vote independent, I believe.
Okay. So
they didn't have very strong independent candidates this time around. Like sometimes we do have pretty strong ones, but we didn't. And Cornel West, who I thought was running, he was a write-in. I didn't realize that he was just a write-in.
One of the other things, where is it? And I just started, I only touched it, Project 2025.
Yeah.
I started to do a little research to find out, because one of my biggest things was, is he, Trump's separated himself. Is he really going to separate himself, or is this really going to pass? What are they going to do? And it was hard for me to figure out if I should read this, if they're not even going to touch it or not. The Republicans have come out, some of the extremists have come out and said, haha, we were going to do it all along. I'm hearing an echo. Is there anything playing? Do you have the live playing anywhere? No?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, good. So anyway, I'm
you still hear it?
Hello?
Do you hear it?
Yep. It's in my ears. And I don't know why. Let me make sure.
I'm going to mute myself and then tell me if you hear it still.
Okay. Hello? No, I don't hear it.
So what could it be over here? I don't have anything playing.
Huh. Okay, let me see. I think we'll be all right. Oh, the Project 2025. So I started to do a little research. I talked to a couple friends. They feel like it's true. It's really going to happen. I went online and I saw that he's distanced himself from the Heritage Foundation because it got a little hot in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And behind the scenes, very, very secretly, he's been talking with the America First Policy Institute. This is otherwise known as AFPI. And there is a policy that he does get behind, and it's called the America First Agenda. This is who he's been working with. This company is, so the difference between the two is they're pretty much identical. The difference is the Project 2025 was made for whoever steps in. It does not specifically say Donald Trump.
Gotcha.
The America First Policy Institute is centering it around Donald Trump and the way he wants to do it. But very similar things from one to the other. But it's secret, so nobody knows about it. And nobody has seen it. I know that part of that is for him to go out and just completely gut the executive branch. And lifetime politicians are going to be gone, and it's going to be treated like a corporation where you can fire somebody at will.
I don't see, I can't be mad at the getting rid of career politicians thing.
I'm not mad.
But it's also, it can't be firing people at will. Like, he doesn't get to fire people. This isn't The Apprentice. So I would be in favor of term limits, though.
Which I think he also wants to set. The problem is he's wanting to get rid of people that don't think like him.
Yeah, he wants to get rid of
that's
people
our
that
protection.
Oppose him.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the concern. He wants to get rid of journalists that speak out against him, He wants to get rid of, any opponent that's going to put up a fuss and fight.
Yeah, so the media is obviously the next stop. Like a dictatorship. Fascists. He was a Democrat. He used to be a Democrat, and now and he's quoted as saying, let me actually read the quote. If I were to run, I'd run as a Republican. They're the dumbest group of voters in the country. They believe anything on Fox News. I could lie and they'd still eat it up. I bet my numbers would be terrific.
Did he really say that?
He really said that.
When did he say that? What year was that? That's hilarious.
He said it to People magazine in 1998.
Okay, because I'm looking here at his history and it says in 87 he registered as a Republican. And then in 99 he was the Reform Party, a Democrat in 2001, a Republican in 2009, unaffiliated in 2011, and Republican in 2012. So he's kind of all over the place. He doesn't know what he believes or wants.
It's whoever's going to back him because he doesn't have any. I mean, he probably has views and he's just like, whatever they want.
His views are green. You know, that's all he wants. So what's going to get him more money, more power?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, the comparisons to Nazi Germany, I guess my concerns are more just him trying to become a dictator, not even necessarily like, you know, the atrocities that happened in Nazi Germany. I don't know that it could go that far, but I think it could go as far as suddenly becoming like Putin or, you know, China, where we just suddenly have this authoritarian dictator that we can't get rid of. You know, it's like Christian fundamentalism taken over. I think more than, you know, what in white purity, it's more Christian fundamentalism I'm worried about, I think.
Another thing that I've been seeing is the prepping for the women's health. They've reported 2 Texas women have died because they had to wait to the last minute to get approval. So there was like a 4-hour time frame for one. One of them was 18 years old. I saw something with an OBGYN.
Hi. I don't want to scare you, but I want to give you some advice. Get your birth control in order. Get an IUD if you want one. If you don't know if you want kids now, please know there's a 1 in 250 to 1 in 1,000 chance of pregnancy with an IUD, not 0. If you know you absolutely don't want kids, make an appointment for sterilization. I'm seeing from my OBGYN colleagues just today, a colleague had 5 requests for sterilization. If you know you want it, get it done. Do something about it before January. Right now, it's not clear if he will have all 3 branches of government. But if he does, expect a national abortion ban. Expect dismantling of the ACA and free contraception. Expect the possibility that he will limit access to birth control. Expect cuts to Medicaid, an insurance program where 50% of women get their health care. The health safety net that all those voters relied upon yesterday as they cast their ballot, that's going to disappear for many women in many places all across America. And please understand, OBGYNs can only do so much. I have heard from doctors who practice in Texas that there are more women who have died that haven't been reported on, and that doctors were told by their hospitals that they could not intervene. This is what 55% of white women voted for. This is what 45% of Latina women voted for, and 38% of Asian women voted for. If you do not want to be pregnant, make an appointment. Do it now.
That's what we're looking at. Plan B is something that you can stock up on, and it's about $40 a box, so it's pretty expensive. But you can stock up on it and save it, and it's good for up to 4 years. So that's an election cycle. So keep that in mind. And even if you're not worried that it can happen to you, it could happen to your child. It could happen to your friends or your coworkers, and we got to look out for each other. So I'm past. I can't have children anymore, but my daughter can. They're telling you to not use the period tracking apps so that you're not trackable. They are saying to stock up on tampons if you use them, because a lot of the Christian nationalists believe that can break a hymen and do not want you using them. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's really, really twisted. There's a lot that we have to consider when we're trying to protect people knowing what's going on. Then, of course, you have them wanting all women to take a either an ultrasound or a pregnancy test before you travel outside the state of Texas. I saw somebody say, okay, so we don't have gambling in Texas, so we can go gamble in Vegas and place bets and smoke weed because it's legal there. And nobody says when we come back, what'd you do? Show us. You're not allowed to do that because you live here. But you have to do that when you leave the state because they're afraid you're going to get an abortion. That's really scary.
Yeah, it is.
And he vocalizes that. There are Republicans in Texas that say that women should get the death penalty for it.
I mean,
be
in Texas
jailed.
votes for him every time.
Uh-huh.
I think I was more devastated over Ted Cruz. Like, I mean, I was really hopeful this time that Colin Allred might give him
so was I.
Like, that one I was really sad about also.
I voted for him, too.
I so wanted Ted Cruz gone. Oh, my God. Did you see the video when Ted Cruz won and he did his little speech and he had mentioned Trump and his daughter?
That was so great. That was
She's
so
like,
great.
Don't clap for that.
She's a legend now, just so you're
Yeah,
we're
she
clear.
is.
My daughter showed me, and she's like, "Isn't she awesome?" I'm like, "She's freaking great."
Yeah.
He goes. She's like, "I'm sure that they made him wear red." I'm like, "I don't know, probably."
Yeah.
She's I don't know how old she is, so she's probably not. But I was like, she's so grounded. She's so in trouble. You know, Tanner's going to be a little testy, a little intense.
Worst. He's such
You've been out there and been an advocate before. What are some ways that you would recommend we help and get educated?
I mean, see what groups are out there that are kind of like-minded and that you could join in on. And honestly, I was having a conversation with Caleb today about politics, and why did he ask me about the Senate? That's what it was. He suddenly asked me about who are the senators here in Texas. And I told him who, and we were just talking about different things related to politics, and I told him, like, I sometimes wish I would have went into politics, because I told him, like, Caleb, is that something you'd want to do one day? And I said, Mommy wishes she would have went into that. And he was like, well, why don't you? It gave me a minute of like, why don't I? But I mean, I would say I hope people use this as motivation to like figure out how do it themselves. I mean, like, don't wait on somebody else to set it up for you. You know what I mean? The conversation with me and Caleb today made me like, huh.
So are you telling me you're running? Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, I've always wanted to, but I don't know that I'd win. Not yet. And the world wouldn't be ready for me yet. I'm a little too radical for them. But yeah, I mean, educate yourself on your local politicians, your local representatives. I would say start there and then just kind of grow from there. Definitely try to find some news that's truthful and accurate, so you can keep up with what's going on. But it's hard to do that right now. But it's out there. Find independent media. The Young Turks. I love the Young Turks. I like them a lot. Jimmy Dore. He's someone I like a lot.
Let me write this down. Young Turks. Is this a podcast or is this
It's a news network. They have a podcast. It's an independent news network. They're independent.
Okay. Young Turks.
The Young Turks. You haven't heard of the Young Turks?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay.
I've never really followed politics. I just haven't. And I'm like I said, I'm in the education mode right now, so I want to.
Right now,
consume it.
Yeah, keep your ear to the street and get out there when they're out there. Like if there's a protest or something you're interested in going to, go. That's part of what me and Caleb was talking about. Is like, you're gonna be out there with me, buddy. You're gonna be protesting. I told him, I said, Grandma used to protest. Grandpa Fred used to. He was like, they seem like they would.
No,
I thought it was cute. So things like that.
So we need to look and see what's out there so that we can be a part of it. I'm down. And also building communities is a really big deal because they want to divide us, because we're more powerful united. And so we need to make sure that we're getting into our communities and building up the nucleus to take this further. I think it's important to have our voices heard. And I think this is a good step for us, to be able to have topics and discuss politics and what we're feeling. And I think that it should be a part of every episode, even if it's just the first 15, 20 minutes of what's happening and where we're feeling and that type of thing, or if something we want to share.
Yeah.
And I think that we should always incorporate it into what we're doing. If not, make it the whole episode. It just depends
I
where
think
we
it
are.
should definitely, yeah, I would like to talk about it, everyone, because I guess that's the biggest thing about what can you do. What you can do is don't go back to sleep. Like, don't let it subside. Don't let that fire and passion you felt after, the day after the election, don't let that energy, die in you, and then you just kind of go back to normal and, well, it's not affecting me yet. Like, don't let it go, keep that.
It's JoJo.
Stay interested. Huh?
It's JoJo. Hi, JoJo. I didn't know who it was when it was on my thing. Talking with JoJo. She does true crime, and she's got, I don't know, is it 10,000 followers on TikTok? I mean, she's pretty good, and I follow her, and I'm wanting to do a collab with her. So hi, JoJo. We're talking politics today. So you were saying something, Phoebe?
Oh, was I still I didn't know if JoJo was going to talk. I'm like, where's JoJo?
Oh no, she's on the chat. Glad to see you live. I know.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I do think it's important to get out there with your communities and keep us connected.
Yeah.
Oh, you were saying you want to make it sure that the politics is
just it stays present. That's one of the good things about, I don't want to say it's a good thing about Trump winning, but I saw it like this the last time when he did win, is just like, because if Kamala would have won, a lot of people would have went back to sleep and thought like, oh, the work is done, and it's like right now our government is just in shambles either way it goes. Both parties are corrupt. Both parties are controlled by money, and so I almost hate when a corporate Democrat wins, because I know, a lot of people are going to kind of just go back to daily life. Nothing's going on. Everything's great. And it's like, that's what I was talking about. You got to kind of hit rock bottom before you can rebuild. And this is the shit that's going to get us to rock bottom. Because, I think the biggest, you got to get money out of politics. That's what I'm going to say every time, of like, how do you fix it? Get money out of politics.